Over the years, video games have been increasingly popular with people of all ages. According to a 2013 research, 58% of Americans play video games, and an average household has at least one console dedicated for game use. A study in July of 2011 showed that young adults that played violent video games like Killzone and Grand Theft Auto behaved more aggressively than others who played non-violent games.
What do you think about violent video games?
I think that they can lead to a possibility of, more violence and kind of anesthetizing individuals to think that violence is okay.
Do you think that you would want or let your children play COD, Halo, Modern Warfare?
No, if my child is 6 years old, absolutely not.
I think that the age boundaries on video games are something that parents absolutely need to look at. The Software Review Board makes sure to put these age limits on the games for a reason. They don't make them up lightly. They use studies and statistics in order to put the ages on the video games. And I think as parents, we have a responsibility to our children to adhere to these regulations and not allow them to play something that is for a more mature audience.
Do you think that children are mature enough to play these games?
I think that certain children are mature enough to play these games. I think age ranges of 8, 9, 10 are very impressionable, and I would rather see them not exposed to these games. Once you hit junior high, I think as long as you are mature enough to understand the difference between a video game and violence, then you're fine. But if you're dealing with someone who cannot make that distinguishing line, then no, I don't think they should play the games. And like I said earlier, I truthfully feel the more realistic the violence, the worse the exposure is for the kids. And it teaches them that immunity to violence, and it teaches them that sometimes that's how to handle situations, which is not the case. Violence is never the way to handle situations, especially at such a young age.
What I found, I started my research about 2004, and at that time, we didn't even know the basics of who was doing what, where, with whom, why, for how long, and I studied 7th and 8th grade kids because I thought that's the group where they're able to get away from their parents and do things that they don't know about, maybe looking for outside role models. And so I did a large survey of those kids, focus groups, and so on. And the main thing I found was that playing a violent video game is normal behavior, statistically normal behavior for 13-year-olds nowadays, especially boys, but a lot of the girls. The most popular game series among these kids was Grand Theft Auto. Among the girls, that was the second most popular game series. So when something's a statistically normal behavior, it's hard to link it to problems. When we did analyze that, we looked at behaviors like bullying, getting in fights, and so on, and we did find at first a link between playing violent games and a higher risk of bullying, getting in fights. Then we factored in some additional variables, though, looking at things we asked about, like aggressive personality questions, stressful events in your life, parent supervision. We found that the stressful life events and the aggressive personality, that seemed what was linked to playing the violent games. When we put that together, the link between violent gameplay and bad behavior vanished.
A simple solution is for a parent to place their child's gaming device in a more open area to see what they're playing. Video games' rating is M was set for a reason, and children may become exposed to vulgar language and inappropriate scenes. Furthermore, playing games with the M rating has become the norm with an average boy. Another solution is for a parent to check what games their children are buying and playing. If a child is behaving more aggressively after playing a game, it may be beneficial to take away the game until they are mature enough to play these type of games. Alternative games such as Minecraft, Ni no Kuni, and FIFA are all less violent and popular games with young children to teenagers. Because children are still impressionable, after so many hours of killing repeatedly, they become desensitized to violence being the answer of every circumstance.